This is the New Leaf Podcast.
Alright, what's up everybody? This is episode 8 of the New Leaf Podcast. I am one of the hosts, Christian. You can find me on Twitter at McJustin if you want to do that. If not, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Anyways, I'm joined by 2 other hosts this week. That's the good news. We've got Tyler and Tanner back. The bad news is Taylor will not be joining us this week, because he has his wonderful girlfriend Allison and wonderful parents Jeff and Kyra with him in Hawaii this weekend. So that's pretty cool. I'm really happy about that. So they can spend some time together. But Tanner, welcome back. What have you guys been up to?
Oh man. Well, it has been a blast. I've enjoyed just being off of New Leaf. I was like, man, I'm not sure if I like this show or not. No, I'm just kidding. I missed the last podcast and that really stunk. So definitely glad to be back on and am ready for just some more fun, hopefully. And, I've been pretty busy. Just work has been, pretty intense of late, I guess is the way to say it. And so I've also been in the mix of applying for college, and I'm currently out of college, but I'm applying at Liberty University to take their business information systems and gaming degree. I'm gonna check that out, and hopefully it's basically everything I want to do. So hopefully, Lord willing, that works out. So prayers appreciated there, but did that, hung out with the family, and played IDARB and Rayman Legends with mine and Tanner's sister, and her son. And so he's turning 5. And so we enjoyed Rayman Legends and IDARB. IDARB wasn't near as much fun because he's a little bit young for that competitive. Yeah,
it's a little too much going on, I think, for a kid to try to keep up with.
Yeah, we didn't play that one for very long, but Rayman Legends, he was able to keep up with that a whole lot better, especially it was a little bit complicated, but he overall grasped it pretty well. He's a pretty smart kid. So that was fun. And then, other than that, my week has been, working on, videos, trying to get, myself situated here at New Leaf because I am way behind. I've got 500 projects, it feels like, going on, but I'm only halfway done with each of them. So I'm figuring that out. I played a lot of garage band, I guess if you consider that playing. I enjoyed that, made some music, and hopefully you guys may be able to hear some of it here soon. And I know that one of the music pieces that I made is an outro. Hopefully we'll be able to hear that today or tonight, whatever. But I'm actually making an extended edition. There's one that's probably like a minute long, and I'm hopefully gonna draw that out and maybe make that something a little bit longer. We'll see how that goes. But did that, and I guess the rest of my week consisted of getting my butt kicked in basketball and playing some DBZ Xenoverse on the side when I had a chance. So that's about all for me. Tanner, what about you?
This week, not much on business, not much. I did play some Finny Boy 3, and besides that, still doing some impulse shopping, and besides that, just doing this diet and trying to live up it.
Tara, how much weight have you lost?
24 pounds.
And how much time?
54.4.
Nice, bud. How much time has it been? How long have we been doing this diet?
The start of in December.
That's pretty
right,
good.
right in the middle of like Christmas and all the goods and candies and sweets and
you know how I felt.
Stuff. Yeah, Tanner's missing it, that's for sure. So it's kind of been a family ordeal. That's why I said we, just because we all root for him and try to keep him motivated and maybe slide him a cheap piece of candy or something every now and again. Got to keep things interesting. So,
hey, that's the same. Me and my wife, we've been trying to. I mentioned that we started going to a gym. I don't go as often as I should, just because most of the time I'm super tired after having to be at work at 4 a.m. But she's been pretty. She's kept up with it pretty well. And we've been trying to like kind of change our diet, eat a lot more healthy stuff, kind of figuring out some new recipes and stuff like that. It's fun. Yeah, it's fitness and being healthy is good.
For sure. Anything else, Tan?
No, I think that's about it on gaming and other stuff for right now. Maybe next week we'll have a little bit more.
All right. Well, as for me, first thing I did, last weekend, when we weren't able to do the podcast, honestly, I killed myself last week at work too. I was actually sick for a couple of days earlier this week just because I worked myself to death.
This is actually Christian's ghost talking to us right now.
I put in I got a ton of overtime last week trying to get stuff ready for spring. I work for Lowe's. I think I mentioned that before, and springtime is a big deal. And we still have had snow all over the ground up until just recently. And we were getting some big regional corporate people coming to walk through, and everybody was just going nuts about getting everything fixed. So everybody was just in overdrive trying to get that stuff done. So I was way worn out, but I did have a chance to play Halo, the Master Chief Collection, after the patch they released, which is a huge patch that everybody's been waiting for a while, about a month and a half, 2 months, something like that. And
since the game came out.
yeah. But no, this one is, after all the patches, I think I saw there had been 13 patches total for the game trying to make it work, and none of them really would do much. But this one has finally pretty much got it in working order. We were getting into matches fast, the teams were even, there wasn't a whole lot of network issues. It was really, really good. I was very impressed. I had a lot of fun with it. So I'll probably be playing that a little bit more. Then this week, the heist mode, another long-awaited add-on for Grand Theft Auto came out, and I wasn't gonna buy Grand Theft Auto on the new gen console just because I'd played it to death on the 360 and was waiting for the heist mode forever because they said it was going to come out pretty soon after release, and ended up not. And they've just delayed it and all kinds of stuff, which, I mean, it's no fault of theirs. You don't want to release a messed up product, so I get that, but it did finally come out this week. Yeah. But it did finally release on Tuesday. I'm sorry. Yeah, Tuesday. So I played that for a little bit. I had a friend of mine that I actually knew jumped in with me, and then we were just playing with two random guys, and we just did one of them. But it was a lot of fun. It was well worth the wait of waiting on that content to release. Just the way they have it set up, where you plan everything out, and each person has their own role, and you're kind of coordinating everything together at the same time. It's really, really well done. I'm looking forward to trying a few more of those. Then next, on Wednesday, a early access game came out on Steam called Reign of Kings. And I've talked before, I think, about early access and how it's getting to the point where it's just ridiculous. But this one looked interesting because it is yet another survival game where it just puts you in a game and you have nothing except like a wooden club, and you eventually you work your way out. You gather materials. You have hunger, so you got to find food and water and all that stuff. But you eventually work your way up to where you can get like castles and armor and swords and all kinds of crazy stuff, and build like kingdoms and like invite people into your kingdom. And but what's interesting about this, you can also eventually get to where you can have siege weapons and be like slinging trebuchets and stuff at people's castles that they've built, where you've worked up to that from like little dirt and stick huts. So it's pretty cool. But what's cool about this one, what makes it different, is in the map there's this one like it's like a structure that's made from the rock, I guess is the best way to describe it. But it looks like this guy standing there and he's holding a sword out, and the sword rests on this cliff, and the sword is like a bridge up into the actual structure, which is in the thing's head. And if you go in there, there's like this thing called the ancient throne that you get on, and if you claim the throne, you become king of the server, and you get a crown and you get like this special sword. But what you can do is you can tax all the other players in the server. So as they're running around gathering all the materials, they're taxed a certain percent, and you set the percent. So like, say you got 20% tax, if they chop 100 wood, you get 5 wood. Is that right? No, 20 wood. Sorry.
Yeah, 20.
Okay, sorry.
That's
Let's
after
rewind.
you give the government 15%.
Let's rewind that.
5%.
So he can pretty much just like chill and let everybody else gather all the materials. So like if he has a really high tax rate, which 20% is the highest, everybody in the server is going to hate him, is going to want to go after him. But if you have a lower tax rate, like people aren't that eager to kill you, I guess. So it's a really interesting mechanic, and it's pretty fun. I've been playing that a little bit. The next thing I played was Battlefield Hardline, the early access for EA Access members. They give you 10 hours of gameplay time, and I was going to play through the single player, but found out that you can only play the prologue mission and the first mission in the game. So it's kind of a bummer, but that's cool, I guess. There's plenty of time to play through that later when it actually releases. But it was really, really well done the way they had it set up. I mean, it feels like you're participating in like a cop drama TV show. That's the best way I can describe it. It's really well done. You can it's not just running around shooting everybody. I mean, you're like looking for these guys and trying to figure out where their boss is, so you can go question them about stuff. You're play a detective in the game. But you can flash your badge to make criminals drop their gun. You can arrest them, or you can tase them, or you can just shoot them. It's kind of whatever you want to do. But you get more points if you do non-lethal takedowns on them, like the actual arrests and stuff. So it's really interesting. And then after I played through those, I did the multiplayer, which I still have some time on left, so I'm probably going to be playing it a little bit more this weekend. But it's a lot of fun. I think we talked about it a little bit during the beta, and there's not a whole lot I can tell that's different from the beta besides just the addition of more game modes, more challenges and stuff like that. There's a few more gadgets and add-ons you can have for your vehicles or whatever, but overall pretty much the same. But it's a lot of fun. I've been having fun with it. Looking forward to playing it with some friends that I actually know, because it's very frustrating to play with random people. Just for example, there's this VIP game mode, which is pretty much the exact same as the VIP from Rainbow Six, if you remember that, where one guy's the VIP and you're trying to escort him to this like extraction zone while the other team is trying to kill him. So when the VIP gets killed, that's it, the game's over. And everybody only has one life. So when I'm playing this and the VIP, like, when I'm at the VIP has, he's got body armor and he's got like a Desert Eagle. That's all he's got. He didn't have any like assault rifles or anything. So I'm just kind of hanging back, just like letting my teammates go forward, and I'm shooting guys if they come. Like, if I can see them and I can shoot at them easily, then I'll shoot them. But I'm not like running out. But that's the exact thing that our team was doing. Like, the VIP on the team, he'd be running out in the middle of the street with the Desert Eagle trying to kill people. I'm like yelling at him, "What are you doing? Do you understand what is going on in this game mode?" Just really.
Can you see the VIP from, like, because in Rainbow Six you could actually see the opponent's VIP at all times?
No, you can't. You can't see the opposing team's VIP.
Okay.
It's just, you have to know what he looks like. But yeah, so I've been having fun with that. Last thing I want to talk about is the Smite Alpha. I talked about this a few weeks ago. I played it on the PC because I knew it was coming on the console, and it was pretty good. And I signed up for the Alpha on Xbox, and I got a code in my email this week. And so I tried that out a little bit today, and works really well on the console. I want to see if there's anybody else out there who has it that maybe wants to try it out with me. So if you do, hit me up on Twitter, and we can play some. I'm not sure when it's supposed to actually release, but it seems like it's pretty much ready to go. Like, it's everything in the console looks like it's pretty much everything that's on PC, so not sure what else they gotta work out to it, but that's about it for me for the past few weeks. I actually played a lot of games this week. I normally don't play much until the weekend, but I had a little bit more fun this week. But yep, that was it for me. So this week,
cool.
We are going to move into talking about Windows 10 and the Xbox Live service, maybe some other things as part of our pros and cons of Xbox One series. Yeah, so Tyler, what do you think about Windows 10? We've learned a lot of information about that past few weeks, and actually it's made a little bit about what we've talked about before kind of obsolete, I guess, with some of the things they've been talking about in terms of how they're linking the PC and Xbox together. But give us your initial thoughts.
Well, I'm excited. This is a weird reason to be excited for it, but I actually own a Microsoft Band, which is a smartwatch of sorts, and I want to get a Windows phone so that I can use Cortana with my smartwatch. And so there's no reason for me to go to Windows Phone right now, and because there's really not many good phones for it, and it's just overall obsolete right now. And I think Windows 10 actually will hopefully bring some life into that, because the Windows 10 is going to be coming to all platforms, phone, computer, and Xbox, which is going to be awesome. But so that's my like initial thoughts of just from a selfish point of view of just like I want that to be good so that I can actually use the full potential of my watch. So like one of my things about Windows 10 is that the console to PC streaming, that looks like that is going to be absolutely awesome. I think it's really cool that we can have people that have the awesome computers and the stuff that they have spent like maybe thousands of dollars on trying to get their gaming rig to be so cool and all that good stuff. And like you can actually use that to play your games think it's a great idea. I think that should have been done a long time ago. Just because the benefit of having your own like graphics is huge. And so that's one of the things that about Windows 10 that I think is going to be really cool. And with that, I mean the ability to it's basically they're streamlining the process a little bit. It reminds me of Steam, just being able to buy over like one Xbox marketplace, and then you're able to use that wherever you're at, whether you're on PC or Xbox, maybe even on Windows Phone. I don't know how they may integrate that, but they could have something that you can do. I know that I was able to play Windows using Windows Games, I think is what it's called. I was able to play like a game called Tinker, and I was able to earn achievements for that through Xbox, and like so that's like one of those things. Apparently, like Gears of War also had like some of the PC treatment.
Well,
and
if you have Windows 7 and you go into there's like a Windows App Store, and if you go in there, there's like mobile games. So I think it's probably the same that the phone has or the tablet. I'm sure because Windows 7 was, I think, built with a tablet interface in mind.
Are you sure that may not be Windows 8?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Windows 8.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because that's definitely something like, it's more streamlined. Because when I was talking about was actually on Windows 7 was the just the ability to do Windows Live and stuff like that. So but yeah, so I think that it's just continually growing. And so that's actually really cool.
Now, when you were saying, were you kind of saying that you think you'll be able to, like, up the graphics if you have a really nice gaming PC when you're streaming from your Xbox to your PC?
Not streaming from the Xbox to the PC, but I thought that there was actually a component where you can, I mean, you may be able to do that. I guess that's possible. But I was thinking that there was actually like the Xbox, marketplace. Let's say, like, I thought how it was shown was that you can actually download it kind of like Steam to that computer and then play it off of your computer. That's how I had at least imagined it. I guess that's how I understood it. And so, I mean, that's why I say that it could be a tricked out gaming rig and play like Halo in some like glorious like 4K awesomeness. Yeah. So
I wonder though how it would implement, because the only reason I could see why anybody would use this would be if like say my wife was watching Netflix on my Xbox, or just say somebody has one Xbox in their house and somebody wants to watch Netflix or watch TV or whatever, but somebody else wants to play a game. If you could do that, I think that would work well. But if it's just like it just is streaming, that's all it can do is stream the game to the PC, then I don't really know how, like, what the advantage of that would be, I guess.
Yeah, I think that in a way, I guess that's how it's got to work, because if you can stream it or not stream it, but if you can actually access it directly through your computer, that eliminates the need for an Xbox, like completely. So that
I'm thinking it'd probably just be like you can access the library of games that are on your Xbox on your computer.
Right, but that's I guess. Are you talking about like games that are already installed on your hard drive on your Xbox, and then those can be accessed from the PC? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that would make more sense, because if they would lose tons of money if they just straight went to a PC. I don't know what the word is. It's just a true like synchronization, I guess, where you can just play everything from Xbox on
It's like a
PC
second
without
screen.
an Xbox.
Right.
Yeah. Oh no, what I'm saying is that like you would lose your ability to like take Xbox sales.
Oh,
And
oh
there would-
yeah. Yeah, you're saying like, I don't think they do that. Like,
I don't either. It would be
there will
awesome.
still be exclusive games to the Xbox, but you won't be able to stream unless you have an Xbox.
Right.
I don't know. Well, I don't know how. We'll have to see how they implement that. But it is a good idea. The Steam streaming works pretty well. Like if you have like a big gaming rig somewhere and you want to play like on your laptop on another floor or something, that works pretty well. I've tried that a little bit. But I don't know. It might be the same kind of thing on the Xbox. It just depends how it goes.
Since you've done it, when does it, I guess I'm trying to think very hard in order to say this correctly. But the computer that you're using, like say your laptop, that's the graphics and stuff that's actually being used.
No.
It's not.
No, the host machine. Okay, so I've got my desktop and then I've got my laptop. My desktop is the host machine. All the graphic processing and everything like that, even the game itself is installed on the desktop. All it is basically streaming a picture from the desktop onto the laptop. So in order to get a good running game on the laptop, you have to have a good home network because it streams it over Wi-Fi. It's not, I mean, it has to use enough graphical power to display the image, but that's about it. There's no, like, you don't have to have any kind of, like, crazy graphics card or whatever in the laptop to do any of that. You don't even have to install the game onto the laptop. You're streaming the screen. Is all it is.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's really cool because that opens up possibilities maybe even for game recording.
Yeah, so if it works like that, and actually, now I'm thinking about that, like, if you don't have a gaming PC, that might actually be a better situation for what the streaming from the Xbox is. Like, if you just had, like, a little laptop or whatever that you wanted to play something on, I don't know, like, while you're drinking coffee in the morning before you go to work or something, instead of like sitting down and turning on your Xbox and all that, just open up your laptop, sit there and do that there. I mean, I don't think you'll have to have like some crazy good PC in order to do this. Excuse me. You just have to have a good enough home network to where it can stream it well.
That just like blew my mind. So, I mean, like DayZ is just, I have an opportunity to be able to record it now, and I'm excited. So, I mean, I know I could use some PC recording like at the same time, but I don't like to do that.
It's pretty easy too. Like you just sign into your Steam account. There's like an option that you have to enable for the streaming, but you just sign into your Steam account on the Stream 2 device, and it shows all your games. And there's an option where you pick either install the game or stream it from the host machine. So yeah, it's super, super easy to do. So I can kind of see if Xbox is going to do that same kind of thing, I can kind of see how it could work well.
Yeah, okay. And that actually makes a lot more sense for Xbox. Like, that's probably how it's going to be done now that I think about it. That makes a lot more sense. What do you think about the cross-platform play, though?
Cross-platform play is awesome, and way more games need to have this. A few games have had it in the past, like that Shadowrun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember that. It was cross-platform. That's really the biggest one that I can think of. There's not many.
Lost Planet had one.
Oh, did it?
Colonies Edition. I mean, there's not too many, but
yeah, no, there's not a lot, and there's not a lot of like ones that were really like good games that had it. But yeah, everybody's like, oh, the mouse and keyboard is like so much more like accurate or more responsive than a controller. And I mean, the simple solution to that would be just make a game to where it has to have a controller. I mean, there are games like that on Steam where you have to have a controller to play them. Just do that for the cross-platform games, which a lot of people I know actually prefer, and I prefer playing a lot of the games on the PC with a controller if it's possible. Some games work better on the mouse and keyboard, but a lot of them, I like the feel of the controller better. So if you do that, I mean, there's no big issue there at all.
I think that maybe for the people that really don't know much about PC and the difference between console and PC in the controller world is that most of your games that you have out right now have an auto aim or aim assist that actually, instead of, because your controller does not have the sensitivity like a mouse does, you would basically be always like behind. Like you would aim left, and instead of it aiming at the person you want it to, it's just gonna aim like way left, and that's it, because that's what the controller would normally do. But when you have the aim assist on, it does what console gamers understand to be like normal, is that it aims just a little bit left, and it like auto tracks that guy.
Yeah, it just helps you kind of zero in on the target.
Right. And I mean, it's not like an aimbot or something where it just gets you instant headshots, but if you ever have that occur where you're like, whoa, I just like blind fire shot this and it got a headshot, sometimes like that is the reason, is because it like registered it in the like auto aim like kind of format.
And if you play, because there are some things, I don't know if it's been on Xbox or on PC, that I've played with a controller where there is no aim assist. It's like, it's impossible to play because, like you said, the controller is just, it doesn't have that sensitivity. But it's kind of the opposite on the mouse and keyboard. If you play a game on the PC with a mouse that has aim assist, it's weird. It like throws you off because the mouse is just, it's oversensitive. So yeah, that's the biggest hold up between cross-platform, at least so far in the past. Now, they could also solve this with depending on the games that they want to do. Like, one game that they've recently announced is Fable Legends, is going to have cross-platform play. And if you look at that game, it's a 4v1 game, kind of like Evolve, where there's 4 heroes. And if you set it up to where, like, the 4 heroes are on the console, it's like third person, like a normal Fable type thing. But then the villain person, it's actually like kind of a top-down view, more like a strategy game type thing, which would work better for a mouse and keyboard. So, like, if the villain player was on the PC, it'd be easier for them to do what they need to do on the game than it would be for a controller to do. So there's kind of things like that that come into play, but I mean, it's really only first-person shooters that have that issue with the aiming. Yeah,
there's just a lot of, I mean, like, if you ever scroll down in the YouTube to go to the comments, which is, I mean, I never recommend it. We all do it, but it's never a good thing. But for like every good comment you have or see, there's like 500 that are like bad, that are stupid or off the wall. But basically, the mouse players will say that, oh, there's like so much more accuracy, so much better with the mouse, like so much more control and everything, that it's superior to the controller. Or I don't know. I just see that they're made to suit like a certain player. So I don't
they
care
do,
about console.
but I mean, from me as somebody who plays a lot on both, the mouse and keyboard is, well, not really the keyboard, but the mouse is it's easier to aim with. I don't know. It feels like it's more natural. It's easier to kind of to follow things with the mouse than it is with a controller. And I mean,
I think
it's only been recently that I've played PC stuff and where it really matters. In the past, I mostly played like Age of Empires, StarCraft, where it doesn't matter. And I've been using controllers my whole life. But yeah, they're definitely like, take Counter-Strike for instance. Like, imagine trying to play that with a controller. It would
which
not
you
work.
can.
Yeah, you can.
You can do it.
But there is a huge disadvantage in that game, for somebody with a controller. But
yeah, I mean, I've played Counter-Strike, like, with a controller, and it's just, maybe I may not have had my settings right, where I may not have had that auto assist on, but it's just it's a totally different game. Like, it doesn't feel like Counter-Strike. It just has a different feel to it, which, I mean, I haven't played Counter-Strike, Go, like CS:GO, with the controller yet, so I can't really vouch for it, but when I played Source, it was just a weird experience. Because a lot of PC games for people.
It's probably a little bit better on Global Offensive. Because, yeah, the original Counter-Strike was just crazy. But
yeah. This will probably be like the last thing I want to say, but for those who don't know, like, you can plug a controller into a PC and play your games with it if it allows for it. You can also download Joy-to-Key or others to actually, like, manually assign buttons to your controller if the game doesn't support it. I mean, that has helped and been an enjoyable experience for me, but that's just for those people who don't know that you can actually do that. It is possible. So just throwing that out there.
yeah, but it's definitely better to get native controller support if possible. But yeah,
right.
Moving on from cross-platform play, we also learned that there will be some games that are going to be cross-buy, which means you buy it, going back to what Tyler said with kind of the one store across all devices, all Microsoft devices, and this is up to developers, not every game is going to have this. If the developer so chooses, they can make it to where you buy a game once and you can download it on your Xbox and on your PC and on your phone or whatever, which it's not really that prolific in the market. I think PlayStation has some stuff with the like the Vita and the PlayStation, and I know Nintendo, I think, has done it quite a bit with their handheld and the Wii or whatever. But that's another one. I guess it would depend on the developer. I don't know many developers who would want to turn down extra money. I think they'd rather you buy their game twice on both systems, but
that's where, like, I hope, this is like a huge hope and probably will not happen, but it would be awesome if it did. Like, all of my Xbox 360 arcade games that I spent tons of money on that are now useless on the Xbox One. Yeah. Like, if Windows could update and it actually, like, oh, you own all of these games and you can play them, that would be awesome. That would be amazing. But, I mean, who knows if that'll happen.
Yeah, that is
and I like to put on this hope is people may be hoping for a collector's edition update, like some previous games that will get a ending game on the next gen, but wish they could play the other two games on there. Maybe they're just hoping for a collector's edition.
Are you talking like Master Chief? How Master Chief got the
I'm talking more along the lines like kind of like Master Chief, but I'm more into the lines like what we're maybe getting in the future of Arkham Knight.
Like, okay, but so what you're saying is for platform, like, people that are on the next gen already but have never played like the first two Batman games or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, you'd want them to have that collector's edition. I think that at least that's in the works. Like, I'm a sucker for the buying the old games I used to have again. Like, I know they're just taking money right out of my pocket, And
Well, I
I'm
think
basically
if you,
letting
like,
them-
if they make it to where you can buy those on PC, then they would last longer. Because I
Yeah.
have a lot of games on PC that I've gone back and bought that I remember playing. I mean, like the Star Wars games that we talked about. I played
Mhm.
those on the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 1. But then they still work on the PC. So if they say, they make a game now where you buy it and you have it on Windows 10 and you have it on Xbox One, say 10 years from now when Xbox whatever comes out and nobody has Xbox One anymore, you can still go back and play it on Windows 10. You don't have to buy it again.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I would
I hope
love that. But yeah, like you're saying about the arcade stuff, a lot of those, like the arcade games on the 360 and the ID at Xbox is what they call them now on the Xbox One. They release on both the One and the PC. Because I just saw Ori and the Blind Forest on Steam today that released this past week. So yeah, if you could just buy it once and have it on both, then on PC you pretty much always have it unless just something crazy happens. But most of the time you can carry on PC games like years and years and years down the road where you can't do that on consoles, especially now that they've been getting away from the word just totally slipped my mind.
Disc?
Entertainment?
No,
Disc?
dang it. I don't even know what it's called anymore. They don't even do it. Where you can play like Xbox One games on your 360.
Like backwards
Yeah,
compatibility?
backwards compatibility. Yeah, so
like the
they,
original Xbox. and
right.
360.
PlayStation always was pretty good. Like all the PlayStation 1 games played on the PS2. And then on the PS3, most of them played on the PS3. And then the PS4, I don't think they have it at all. And Xbox has been always pretty bad. So yeah,
I think the remedy, excuse me, Christian,
No,
but I
go
think
ahead.
I'm hearing the remedy of, I think it's PlayStation's online service, PlayStation Plus, or something like that.
You're talking about
is-
the PlayStation Now?
Okay, yeah, that could be what I'm talking about. Where they have old games that you can buy on the PS4.
Right, but that's
But
what
it's
we're
a
saying.
subscription service, though.
Oh.
Like this,
Oh, is it?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Or a streaming, like a,
So it was kind of like Xbox Live. But
Well, there is PlayStation Plus, but I think what Christian's talking about is something different.
yeah, PlayStation Now is where you can, I don't know if you actually download them or it's like a cloud streaming service where you stream them, but it's a separate service, like an EA Access type thing. But if Microsoft does the cross-buy with their games, then that would, I think, be the solution to backwards compatibility and kind of future-proofing games, because I know I spent a lot of money on games that I used to have, and I
Yeah.
bought them on the PC again just because I wanted to play them again, and I don't have my original Xbox where I can go back and play it.
yeah.
The only bad thing is that it devalues a little bit. Like if you have Final Fantasy VII and you have it for the PlayStation, you're probably paying like $70 to get that sucker right now, like
Yeah.
for the original system. And that's kind of going away. I think that will go away as like we keep re-releasing the same game
Well,
on different systems.
Yeah,
basically.
or you have my case where, I didn't look it up at first, but I bought a PS2 game, Ed and Eddie, The Misadventures, because that was one of my favorite PS2 games under Ratchet and Clank. And I bought it off of Amazon, $10 through Mom, and pretty much I looked up later on that next day, and it was not compatible on the 360. It's like, what?
Yeah, so we'd have to pull out an original Xbox again
Yeah.
to get that sucker.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
But, yeah, so that's definitely for sure a good thing, but it would hinge on whether or not developers want to do it.
Speaking of developers, one of the new things with the Windows 10 is that the code and stuff like that actually works. It kind of works with the code that's already been written for games. So, like, during a press conference, I forget who the speaker was, but they basically showed iDarb, and they had the game, their game with their original code, how it was written, basically on like Windows 8 or something. But it took them less than 24 hours to transfer the code from Windows 8 to Windows 10. And they had their full game like back up and running on Windows 10 with like all the new enhancements or whatever, like within 24 hours, which is huge.
I've heard the same thing, because they did that with a couple of games. I was listening to IGN's Xbox podcast this week, and they had some guy, I don't remember his name, from ID at Xbox, and he said they gave a few games, iDarb was one of them, just kind of said, told the developers, hey, here's a Windows 10 developer kit, see what you can do with it. And a lot of them, even like Xbox One games, where everything was coded for Xbox One, they ran it through the system, and like you said, it took them a day or 2 days, and they had a playable version on Windows 10, whereas before, translating from a console to a PC would be a very, very long time to try to make everything work. And that's with DirectX 12, which DirectX is kind of like a standard in coding, I guess you could say, maybe. I don't really know what all it involves with. But yeah, so that's enabling much easier development across all the services. So that is a critical part of the whole one service thing is what they're trying to get to. But a couple other advantages of DirectX 12 also, they've been able to achieve higher graphical capabilities with it.
Isn't that using the same setup that you like currently own or whatever, basically?
Yeah, it's the exact same. It's just they can kind of pull more out of the graphical processing unit of the whatever system they're working on. And I was looking at some stuff on Fable Legends, and a lot of it was like developer talk was way over my head, but basically they got a consistently higher frame rate, higher resolution, between DirectX 11, I think is what they're using, and DirectX 12. And it was a significant improvement. So that means we could probably see the graphical capability of the Xbox One jumping up quite a bit once this releases, because all this Windows 10, DirectX 12 is all going to be released on the Xbox One as well. This year, I think later this year, they said. So that is definitely another good thing.
I think a different way to describe it, just in case that went over anybody's head, is that it's like using, I mean, they call it engine for a reason in a car. Like in the gaming world, it's called an engine for basically the same thing, but it's basically like your car just gets like a tune up to where it just runs so much better. Just in case.
Right. You get higher, you get more performance out of the same parts.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, I'm really looking forward to that, because I think in the quality battle between the PS4 and the Xbox One, the Xbox One actually didn't perform as well. If I remember right, on just like the graphical capabilities, it's close. I mean, it's not like it's some huge like difference, but that could actually give Xbox a sizable jump. I mean, I don't know. We won't see it. We won't be able to do it till we see it when that actually comes out. But that would be a cool thing to look forward to.
And this would be good down the road too, where whenever DirectX 13, 14, whatever comes out, they could possibly continue to boost the graphical performance without having to release a new console. So I think this might make this console generation last a little bit longer than what they have in the past.
Yeah, I think that like part of it is I believe that part of it is due to like the amount of code that it's needed. And it's basically like reading a book or something. Like your computer reads the code in order to play the game. And so I think that part of it, of this new like thing, is that there's just less code. Like that it's just able to kind of bypass a lot of the stuff that you weren't.
Spends less power reading, more power doing.
Yes.
All right, so moving on from Windows 10 and what that means for the console, let's talk a little bit about the Xbox Live service in general, as far as how that works. In my opinion, I think it's better than PlayStation service. In some ways it's not. But I think it is, as far as how it's set up, it works a little bit better than PlayStation service. And a lot of the cloud things that they've been doing with the Azure, whatever you want to call it, kind of the cloud storage stuff that they've been doing with the Xbox is very cool. Even though I think they've had some struggles getting it to work smoothly, but it's a new thing, so I can kind of cut them some slack on that. But if you didn't know, all of like your profile information is stored on the cloud. So that's why, like, I went to Taylor's house last time I went to his house a couple months ago. Before you had to like take a memory card or your hard drive or something.
Yeah.
Whereas now I logged into my account and it spent 2 minutes syncing all the data and it was there. I had all my game I had my friends list, everything was there as soon as I brought it up, which was really, really cool. So I think PlayStation has something similar to that, but I'm not sure how that works. It'd be something to talk about when we go through that.
Yeah, I think that definitely we can give a better comparison because Taylor actually has a PS4 now, and we're planning on going through the PS4. We'll have a couple different speakers at that time. Hopefully, it's just and so that will be something that New Leaf is looking into actually coming out with here at some point. So we can definitely. I'd still say let's compare the PlayStation and Xbox if possible, but
well, the only thing
I'm a little out of.
The only thing I know of is I did have a PS3, and the only game that I had that was for both was Black Ops 2, and I had it for 360 and for PS3, and I do think that I think Xbox is generally more of the popular console for a Call of Duty game. That may have been some of it, but I just didn't feel like it seemed like there was more problems like connecting to people on the PS3 on that game. And nobody had mics, like nobody was talking in the game. This was before PS3 had party chat, so there was nobody in party chat. They just didn't have mics, they weren't talking. And then the people that did have mics, basically what PS3 did is make every Bluetooth mic work with it, so people would go out and buy like the cheapest piece of junk Bluetooth mic, and it would just sound terrible. You could hear cars driving past people's houses. It was awful having to listen to it. But that was like 1 in every 20 people had an actual mic.
Yeah, the online community was just so different on PlayStation when it's just, and like I
feel like it's harder to meet like people that you don't know on PlayStation. Maybe it's changed recently, but at least at that time, it was like people who knew each other in real life played together on PlayStation, but it wasn't really
right.
It was hard. Like Xbox, it seems like has tons more like community stuff going on than PlayStation does. I don't know.
It's definitely one of those things where I've experienced the PlayStation 3 a little bit, but it's always like hey man, you got a PlayStation 3? Let's put our names, get our names out, like kind of like the gamer tag thing for it's the PlayStation ID or whatever. But like, it didn't feel near as social. Like playing Gears of War with like people I didn't know back in the day was just like intense. Like there was you just knew that like everybody had mics, and then if they didn't have mics, it's like it was more less frequent, so it was more weird than when somebody didn't have a mic and was playing. And like, I mean, we talked about this a little bit with our Halo podcast, but when you don't have a mic, it totally changes the game. Like we had 3 of us, and then we had one guy without a mic, and you just play differently. You got to play differently because that one guy can't hear you, not communicating, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that the online community is different. I always joked, like, somebody's like, man, I had like a 70 kill streak on Call of Duty. And I was like, well, what do you play on? You're like, PlayStation. You're like, yeah, that's why. Like, it was just like it was a totally different play style and stuff that, is just a little bit foreign to me now. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that, Xbox, the live service they provide is definitely more community, more, I've met a lot more people through Xbox Live that it was just ridiculous.
It seems to me like Xbox is more kind of the social multiplayer driven, whereas the PlayStation is the Xbox is kind of like a Western console, whereas the PlayStation is more like an Eastern console, like the Japanese stuff. There's a lot of kind of foreign support that the PlayStation has that the Xbox doesn't have. And I think they have more like single player or co-op kind of experience games on the PlayStation. That's kind of the culture of it. It's not really like a huge Call of Duty or Battlefield thing. It seems like every time you're watching like a tournament or something about like big first person shooter tournaments, it's always on an Xbox.
I think that part of that maybe, like, I mean, in America, we're used to having internet everywhere, and in other countries and stuff, internet could be like basically unheard of.
Right.
I mean, it's so having a PS3, they're like, oh great, I have this, but I have no internet capability. So, I mean, that's where PlayStation, I believe, has just the stronger single player experience overall. And so I think that it's just a different strong suit that because of the lack of internet, that is, around the world or could be around the world. So that
let's
talk
about some of the deals that, the Xbox and I guess been kind of compared to PlayStation a little bit too. The PlayStation Plus, as most people know, I think, offers free games every month. Or it might be every other month, I'm not sure. I know it's every month now. I'm not sure what they did on the PS3. But they had this forever. I mean, it was big name titles that they were giving away for free. I mean, you could have, like, I'm sure somebody could have PlayStation Plus on their PS4, PS3 and never buy a game because they're constantly being given free games. And that was like a huge draw for that service when it came out, that the Xbox just didn't have. And when Xbox finally offered their version of it with games with gold, it wasn't as good. Like, they were giving you like 5-year-old games that were like mediocre. I remember when they gave Halo 3 away for free. I'm not sure when, but it was like, really? This game came out like 6 or 7 years ago and they're just now offering it on the service. So that is one weakness that the Xbox has under the PlayStation, but I think that they're getting a lot better on the Xbox One, at least, because they haven't given away like any huge titles, just because there's not that many to give away.
Except Crimson Dragon, the best game ever.
Well, that's what they're doing is like an arcade or an ID at Xbox, an indie game, essentially, will release and they'll make it free for a little bit, and then it'll be where you can purchase it. They did that with iDarb. Did Rayman Legends come out before, or was it a new game?
Yeah, I've looked into that, and then like every time I saw it, it was like $30-$40, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not paying that much for a Rayman game. Like, I haven't really played any of them before, but I knew it was like a side scroller.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to pay. Like, Mario is a completely different game, but not for Rayman. Like, it just doesn't have that following, in my opinion. Like, I was like, there's no way I'm going to pay full price for that. I think that, I've been thinking about this while you were talking, is like, what Xbox, I feel like, doesn't do as well, they're getting better at it now, is like, when Halo 3 was free on, the Xbox Live, like, for Xbox 360 service, like, before that, it's like a $20 game. Like, and it's like 5 years old, 6 years old. I mean, their selling point is like so much higher than, it's not like, oh man, I should have got this while I had the, like, I mean, it's either you get it when it's free or you never buy it, in my opinion. They just don't have that, because of such a huge price difference. Like, I think it, on the other hand, it devalues my game. Like, if I'm getting Rayman Legends for free and I paid $40 for it at the time, oh, it'd stress me out. Like,
yeah. That's
when
true.
it's free just a little bit. I mean, that's where I feel like games that are coming out right now, like, for some reason, have a price drop within like 1 or 2 months after release.
Yeah, they definitely do. I don't think it doesn't follow really on the digital front, though. That's like the physical media. So I remember, at least on the 360, you would look and, like, you would have Halo 3 would be like $30 to buy digitally, and you could go buy it at a store for $10 for the CD.
Yep.
And that was like, that always made me mad. And I think it's still kind of like that. But they are getting a little bit better with it. I will say though that the free games that they put out on the Xbox One, most of them I would never have bought, or I would never have played, unless they made it free. And I've enjoyed most of them that I've played. There's some that are like, whatever. But most of the ones that have been free, I've really enjoyed putting the time into it, so I don't feel like I've lost anything.
I think there's only been like one that I'm like, oh, I wasn't going to download that. Like, other than that, they all looked like relatively interesting. Like, I would have never downloaded iDarb normally, but that's a fun game. Like, when you actually like look at it and play it, you're like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. But definitely it being free, I think you definitely like build a community like in that way, and having that. I wonder if like Xbox pays the developer or something like that little bit. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure, but
like,
I think that they get more. I think they get more publicity for their game. So I'm sure, like, after it's gone off of the free, I'm sure they get like more sales because there's more people have it in their hand. And maybe somebody who didn't know about it before will see something on Twitch or whatever, is like, oh, this looks cool. I'm gonna buy this. Whereas before, like I said, or like you said, if it wasn't free, you would never play it. So if the more people are playing it, the more people are hearing about it, maybe after it's done being free, more people will buy it. I think that's how it goes. I don't think that they get anything for making it free. I don't think there's any like kickback or anything, but I mean, maybe there would be. I don't know.
Yeah, the only reason I say is like, if you, for those of you who don't know, if you go to ads, like if you like type in something and it shows like ads by Google, that it's there, and like you can, because it's like the top link and you can click on that. If you click on the ads by Google version and not the like the link under it to the actual one, it actually charges that company like 12 cents, 13 cents, whatever it is. It's like they pay per click. So like I know that's actually them paying for it, but I think that in like the free downloads, I think that there may be a kickback because you don't just, nothing is ever free. I guess is the way to say it. Like somebody is paying for it somewhere. That free college that we're supposed to be getting, there is money coming from somewhere to pay those people to teach you how, things. Like, I don't know.
They might have allotted some of the subscription money. Like, say everybody who pays $60 a year for Xbox Live, if they took $1 of that or something and put it toward, like, making it
that
free.
actually,
say, hey, we'll give you this amount of money if you make your game free. I mean, it's probably not a lot because, like I said, they probably do end up with more sales because of that.
Right.
But that might be the case.
I will have to say it does save money for a person if you have two people on your Xbox. If someone buys an Xbox Live card, oh, you're good.
Yeah, the family program.
That works too with two Xboxes because I have two Xboxes. One's mine, one's my wife. And the way
one is his wife. Did you hear that? It wasn't. It wasn't my wife.
It's not on the same Xbox on a different profile.
Right,
it's a separate Xbox.
It was a beautiful wedding.
Yeah, it's the white. I bought the white sticker pack for the wedding.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got weird fast. So yeah, we have two Xboxes in my house. And you gotta set it up weird. When you set up the home Xbox, I have one upstairs where all my stuff's at, and then there's one in the living room, that's my wife's. My home Xbox is the one downstairs, and my wife's home Xbox is the one upstairs. But you set it up to where the one upstairs, my profile signs into it automatically, the one downstairs, her profile signs into it automatically. But since my profile it's hard to explain, but since my profile or my home Xbox is the one that she plays on, she can use my Xbox Live account. Now, if I try to get on her profile on my Xbox without me being signed in, it wouldn't work. But I don't have to be signed in order for her to use Xbox Live Gold on the Xbox downstairs, if you follow that.
Basically, if she didn't have your profile signed in at some point, she wouldn't have Xbox Live. But because you do
on the one that I use, but
right.
since the one that she uses is my home Xbox, my profile doesn't have to be signed in.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But what Tanner was saying, when you have that set up like that, I can buy a game digitally and I can download it on both consoles and we can both play it at the same time. So we've done that with a couple of games like Halo, Grand Theft Auto, Diablo 3. So I've been buying more digital games. So the more free games they give me digitally, I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. That's just kind of, I get 2 games for the price of one, I guess. Or 2 games for the price of none, I guess you could say.
Yeah, well, on the free, for the free.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the paying for the console is the admission for it.
Yeah, I guess, but hers, we didn't get hers with a Kinect, which I think I've talked about that too. It's weird not having a Kinect. Like I'll be downstairs, like if she's not home and I want to watch Netflix or something, I'll say Xbox on and like, it won't turn on. I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, oh yeah, it doesn't have a Kinect. So it's just kind of weird. But anyways, we got kind of off topic there.
Sorry.
Chasing mini rabbit trails.
That's fine. Talking about the free games moves into, and we were talking about this a little bit, is the discounts that they've started offering, where they don't give a lot of these games away for free, but they will discount them, and pretty heavily, some of them. And they have kind of these, like Xbox had a winter sale a few weeks ago, where they had like tons and tons of games, just like huge discounts on. And that was really cool. I actually picked up Styx Master of Shadows. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember you wanting to buy it when it first came out.
Yeah, when it came out, I wanted to get it because it looked cool, but it was like $30. Like, I don't want to spend that much on the game. But they had it on sale for $7.50, so I did pick that up. I haven't played it yet, but man, you can't pass that up.
Picked up sticks, gentlemen.
Yeah,
right.
I picked up sticks for $7. But yeah, there's a lot of people compare it to like Steam, where Steam there's always 300
they have like the
games
summer
on sale.
That's huge.
Yeah, and every other week there's something on sale, and they have like a free weekend, and then on Monday the game's like 80% off or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Xbox hasn't quite gotten to that point, but they are getting way, way better than what they have in the past. And I think a lot of the bad PR from comparing kind of the way Xbox did it to how PlayStation did it has caused some of that. But it is really good. Now some of them are like kind of weird, like the Zombie Army trilogy that just came out. Like a week after it came out, it was discounted $10. So like, man, I feel bad for the people that bought it when it was $50. Now it's $40. So some of it's kind of weird, but yeah, like that. There's a few recent games on there. I don't remember offhand what they were, but I mean, like Sticks, there had been no sales or anything on it at all until that point, and I mean, discounted down to $7. It's crazy. And I think Thief was on there for like $13, and it's normally $30 or $40. So
you get it for a steal of a deal.
Yeah, including for a deal, you get if you what was it? Titanfall's DLC season pass.
Yeah.
The DLC.
Yeah, you can buy Titanfall and the season pass for like $12.50, which was awesome. Speaking of which, I don't know if it still is, but all the Titanfall DLC with season pass was free this week.
That was on PC.
No, that was on everything. It was on 360,
really?
One, and PC. Yeah.
Is it still?
I don't know if it still is, but I was playing with some guys last night that had it.
Okay,
so,
awesome.
Yeah, all that being said, Xbox is definitely getting much better, and they have every week. I think it's on Tuesday. I don't know what it is about Tuesday. Destiny resets Tuesday. New games come out on Tuesday. Xbox reloads their deals on Tuesday. But starting every Tuesday, Xbox has kind of like a lineup of a handful of games that are on sale, and that's pretty neat.
Cool.
Have you picked up any super good deals, Tyler?
Not really.
Well, these are all digital too, so you're not a fan of the digital.
It's not that it's not that I'm not a fan of it. There's something about having a hard copy and that I'm able to. I can't share my game necessarily unless you do it like you download somebody's profile and then you get onto their profile and download it onto your Xbox, and I just feel like that's kind of taking advantage of the system. But I like having a disc to where if I'm not playing something, I can be like, hey man, check this out. If you like it, awesome. Like, here you go. I did that to Dark Souls many a times and got a lot of people hooked on it, unfortunately, because of me passing out my one copy. But speaking of which, Dark Souls 2 comes out in April for the Xbox One, and that may be something that I am interested in. I am interested in it, but it may be something I pick up. I don't know. I've got so many games to get and not enough time to play them. So, yeah. But yeah, I just haven't seen anything huge because I really like shopping for other people. Like Titanfall right now, like I saw that earlier, but I thought it was only for PC. But I'm gonna be like texting my buddies right now and just be like, boom, try to get this if it's still here, and that's what I'm about, more or less. So.
I can see not like buying digitally get away with DLC, but I agree with Tyler. I'd rather get the hard copy of the game.
I do like having hard copies for like single player games, because when I'm done with them, I want to trade them back in. Like Dying Light, Far Cry 4, I have hard copies for. Assassin's Creed, I got hard copy for. But a lot of the multiplayer games that I know, like Battlefield 4, I still play that to this day. So I feel like I've gotten my money's worth out of it buying it digitally. I mean, if I had a hard copy and I went to trade it in, I'd get like, what, $5 for it. It's like, what's the point at that point? So,
Right.
But yeah.
And I forgot to mention, also who could get away with buying digitally is the Apple, the iOS games. I forgot about that. That you can get away buying those.
Well, that's a little different because like they don't have a platform. Theirs is just you buy digitally because that's what they offer.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's not like not throwing your suggestion into the trash or anything. It's a little bit different.
Well, PC, I mean, the majority of PC games are bought digitally too on Steam.
Right. I mean, I know Humble Bundle is hooked me up. Green Man Gaming has hooked me up with tons of deals and stuff like that, like all through digital. Like that is a game. Like I'll buy digitally on PC because it's a whole lot cheaper. Like Tomb Raider, like Definitive Edition. I think it's like $17 right now on Xbox Marketplace, and I've seen that thing on like the summer sale last year, and it was like $7, $9. Like it's just there's a lot better, a steeper discount for some reason. I think it's probably because there's a lot of PC gamers, so they get a lot
balances out.
Yeah, like for sure.
I'm sure that's going to be the future of the consoles as well. They just need to get it to that point and be discounting. I mean, developers and publishers of the games, they got to make money, obviously. But games like, I don't know, like, say, a launch game for the Xbox One, at this point, probably not a whole lot of people playing it. I mean, you can give a pretty good discount on it, and somebody would buy it who normally wouldn't buy it. Say, see, I don't know, Dead Rising 3 or Forza 5 for $10 digitally. Like, $10, I could probably pick that up, whereas normally they might not have bought it. So it's just another $10.
It's easier to throw away your money when it's smaller.
Right, exactly. So I definitely think that they're moving in that direction, and they've made good strides. But I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. That was a huge point of contention when the consoles were coming out. Do you remember that? Talking about the digital stuff and always online. And
yes, they were. I mean, people wanted their disc.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Yeah. It's not a big deal on Steam when you know it carries with you on any PC you ever go to, but because Xbox got rid of, like, as I used an example earlier, like the arcade stuff, it didn't transfer over with it. So, I mean, like, when you're getting rid of people's stuff, then you shouldn't have as much power in that regard. Like,
that could be another thing that the cross buying solves too.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say though?
Oh, I was just gonna say that. What is our docket for the next podcast that we're gonna be hitting up here?
Next week we're gonna try to hit talk about Xbox Upload and Smart Glass, kind of some of the unique apps that Xbox has, and then we want to dive into the Kinect a little bit. Kinect is kind of a hot topic, I think, for the Xbox One.
At least it will be for us. If it's not, it will be.
It's going to get compared with the 1.0 from the Slim 360, or is it?
See, I never had the original Kinect, so that'd be a good discussion.
Yes, that will be very good. Tanner, you
if we have,
asked a good question.
I don't know if we'll have time next week, but we'll eventually get to the cons, the bad things about the Xbox One, kind of in general. So
yeah, I was gonna say I think we've done a pretty fair evaluation.
Yeah,
there might be we have, but there might be just kind of a few things to throw in there. We might be able to get it all in next week, hopefully.
Yeah, how some things Xbox needs to do with.
Tune in next week
for the vision impaired.
Yes, we'll get to that. Definitely, we have our grievances with the Xbox. as I was talking over you most of that. But I'm going to say tune in next week for a 5-hour podcast so we can talk about everything in this world.
We can't give you the benefit if it's going to be 5 hours, but...
We will put you to sleep, and by the time you wake up, we will still be talking. No.
Whoa, that's
maybe
getting a little carried away there, but
just
speaking of long podcasts, I think it's about time to wrap this one up.
That's right.
So you can find us on Twitter if you want to give some feedback, ask some questions, do whatever you want to do at the New Leaf Crew. Or you can email us if you're old school at thenewleafcrew@gmail.com. I'm going to let Tyler talk about YouTube and Facebook if you want to do that.
YouTube is a service where you can actually stream your videos that you have created personally over a wide network.
Really?
Okay. Yes, our YouTube is New Leaf, and right now, actually, it's, when you type in New Leaf, like New Leaf Gaming, Animal Crossing,
it's all over the screen.
fills your screen. So, type in New Leaf, Let's Play Halo MCC. That will bring us to it. You can also type in Taylor's video, but I can't think of the name of it right now.
It's Let's Play Battlefield Hardline.
Okay, so yes, check that one out. That will just type in New Leaf and then Let's Play. So that should help get you there. Hopefully we can just have more videos and more awesomeness and
you got
be
some
able to...
Dragon Ball Z Universe coming soon, right?
Yes, coming soon.
Hopefully, if Tyler can get it to working.
Yes, like Final Cut Pro is giving me grief right now, but there will be a day where we finally get the Xenoverse up and running, and I think once I get the hang of the first video, the rest are going to be super easy. It's just getting used to Final Cut Pro X or 10, whatever is a interesting learning experience. So, and then also our Facebook is the New Leaf the Facebook is the New Leaf Podcast, and you can find us there, and I think that's about it. Cue outro.
Now, you gotta say like a joke or something. That's usually how we do it.
Okay.
Huh?
Oh yeah, we end on
Really?
it, so
I thought
we can
just
edit
say
that
our
part
names.
out, the cue out.
We're not editing anything out. We're in the outro right now.
Oh
They can-
goodness, are we in the outro right
Yeah,
now?
can't you hear the music play?
Oh, well, yeah, it's totally.
It's pretty cool.
I don't
right?
know what's going on. Yes,
telling.
I'm totally need the wub wups. I need more wub wup and electronic beat.